Everyone, for a minute, I will go to the toilet. All right. Okay, so let's. I. Okay, yes, Honyu. Yes. All right, so we have 3.2 here. The title is The Street is Lined with Trees. So, page 16, we're gonna have the four pictures here first. Okay, four pictures all about some places in the city, and then there are also certain places here like Moscow, New York, Paris, and then London. Aside from that, we're going to complete also some terms for activity number two, and then next thing is the reading part for three and number four. So for this one, we're gonna go over to what to see in Montreal to answer activity number four, yes or no. So this one is the paragraph. And then page 17 is all about the grammar. So we're gonna go over with passive and then active as well. So let's have some sentences later on with this one. So in this part, please go over now to page 16, the very first one. So we have one, two, three, and four pictures of some places in the city. Now, the first thing that we're going to do here is to have number one. Okay, so for number one, this is to match the photos to the cities. So we have Moscow, New York, Paris, and then London. Now you're just going to guess if you're not familiar with the pictures. And if you do know, it's good so that you can answer well part one. So please go over first and then match the photos of the following cities for one. Okay, let's try. Let's try the following pictures first. We have the first one, Moscow. What do you think is the number for this? New York, what number? Paris, what is the number? And then London is, what's the number? Moscow, which one do you think? Which number do you think is for Moscow? Okay, yes. We have Moscow is picture two. Next is New York. Which one do you think? How about New York? Okay, let me call Lake Wing. What's for New York? Okay, Trip Win, what's New York?
I just picture one.
Yes, okay, this one is number one. All right, thank you. Next is for Paris. Thanh.
I Harry a picture for.
Yes. Okay, Paris is picture four. And obviously, the last one is London, which is picture three. That's very good. Okay, again, wait. Okay, Moscow picture two, New York is picture one, Paris is four, and then London is three. Now, going over with these following city places or places in the city, we have again Moscow for number two. So for Moscow, this one is all about. It is called the Red Square in Russia. Okay, the picture here is what we call the Red Square in Moscow, Russia. Now, another one is for picture one, New York. So this one shows about the port in the New Jersey in America. So which one and in here we have the port itself. So it comes to port, of course, this one is near the seaport of New York. Another one is for Paris, that is number four. So the picture four, it shows a metro station. Again, it shows a metro station outside one of the most famous department stores in Paris. Metro station. And then for London, this one is picture three. This one shows the street in central London. So this one is also famous when it comes to shopping areas, the street, the one that is called Carnaby Street in central London. So in this case, let me have this question for you. Talking about certain places in your country. Okay, so in this part, I want you to have your own idea for this. What is your favorite city in Vietnam and then why? So the four pictures earlier were all examples of some cities in the countries, four countries. Now, how about in your country? Which one is your favorite city and then why? So for example, in Vietnam, I think my favorite city is Dalat because I like the cold weather there and also it's so relaxing and I think it's convenient as well. So Dalat City. How about you in your own country? Okay, I think I'll go start with Ngọc Tau.
My favorite city in Vietnam is Ho Chí Minh City because Ho Chí Minh City is one of the big city in Vietnam.
Yeah.
There are very many factories and it is a developing city in Vietnam. And it has many opportunity for people to work
Oh, yes.
and so on.
Okay. It's true. the big city, which is Ho Chi Minh, it has lots of opportunities, especially for, okay, for example, like you, after you graduate, maybe in high school, or no, no, in university, you can go to some other places to work, especially that certain big city has a lot of chances or opportunity for you to work in with big money or big salary. And also, some other people like that certain Saigon city, which is a big one, because they like the busy ones, the busy street or something. It's modern. Thank you for that one. Let's have Ngao Quinn. How about you? Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. Mm, yeah. Okay, all right. Ngao Quinn, did you say shopping? Did you mention shopping? Shopping. Did you say shopping? Okay, all right. All right, never mind. Okay, so thank you for that one, Ngao Quinn. So you mentioned about this certain city, Fuwok. Okay, I've heard of that one as well, but I haven't been to that certain place. So I've heard it's also relaxing there because I think it's an island, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Next is Tangang. How about Lake Wing?
My my
Okay.
favorite city in Hà Nội.
Okay.
The capital of Vietnam. This
Mm,
is a beautiful historic city lo-
yeah.
located in the north of Vietnam.
Yeah.
This city has always been one of most people's tourist um, for, for the main attraction of Hà Nội.
Mm,
Hà Nội have many degrees of local dishes and phở. That's all.
all right. So Hanoi City, the capital city of Vietnam, which is located in the north. Okay. Yes, I like it when we try to have the historical thing about. Okay. Yes, Tanyang. Historical thing about Hanoi. It's way different from Ho Chi Minh, or it's way different from other certain places. So maybe it's also cool when we visit, or when us foreigners would visit that certain city in Hanoi. Okay, thank you. Next is from um, Hing. Okay, Vang
Yeah,
An. Sorry, sorry. Okay, Hing, go.
yeah. My favorite city in Vietnam is uh, Đà Lạt City
Mm,
because I like the weather there, especially it has many beautiful flowers. I love the atmosphere there because it's so fresh and it makes me feel good.
mm.
Um, I feel health, um, and I like strawberry.
Oh,
Uh, it's a especially fruit hit there.
okay, yes. Special fruit there. because it especially grows there because it's not really hot in the city. Thank you, Hing. Yes, Dalat. I would really agree on Dalat. I really love the weather there. Plus, also the food that I've tried, it's also good. So thank you for that one. Okay, next, Vang An. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My favorite city in Vietnam is Ho Chi Minh City.
Mm,
This city is big, crowded, and beautiful. I want to work here when I graduate from university. I think there are many job opportunity
yeah,
for me. Yeah.
that's very true. Big cities like Saigon has got lots of opportunities for you to work, and especially when you are interested in companies, big companies, or when you're interested in working, dealing with English speaking people, so you can go over with some cities like that one. All right, thank you, Bang An. Um, Chuk Win.
My favorite city in Vietnam is Nha Trang City.
Yeah, yeah, try.
Because I like this and it have many blankets.
Mm,
Uh, it make me happy after hard working, and I can take the photo.
yeah, Nha Trang. Chuk Win is Nha Trang in the central.
Nha Trang.
Okay, central Vietnam, central.
Yes.
Ah, I see, I see.
Yes.
Okay, I think I've seen some pictures of that one. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Chuk Win. Okay, Trang, you can put your answer here if you want. Next one is Tan Ngang. Last one. How about Thuy Lin? Okay, Tan
Uh,
Ngang.
in Vietnam, I like Vĩnh Long City.
No.
That's where I was born.
Mm,
In Vĩnh Long, there is my family. Uh, I really like being at home because I feel so relaxed
yeah,
and comfortable. Uh, in there are a lot of fruit, and I like fruit too. Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay. I think I've been to Vinh Long as well when I got to Kanto City. So we passed that city as well. So yeah, I think it's somewhat like Dravin, like it's just comfortable and it's also nice because it's not really that big. Okay, thank you for that one, Tangang. Lin and Trang, would you like to share your ideas? Okay, so those are some of the cities in Vietnam that it's your favorite. Yeah, we have Dalat, Saigon, Hanoi, Phuoc, and also Vinh Long. Nobody mentioned Travin. All right. And we also have Nha Trang. Okay. So in this case, since we're talking about cities, we're gonna go over to activity number two, and then we're gonna complete the words and then how many places are in the pictures. So let's have again the following pictures above and also to answer activity number two. So please start now with activity number two. So for this one, I am going to probably, okay, yes, give you some choices for activity number two. Now, are you familiar with the words here? So just choose for each given numbers. So we have number one, it starts with letter P. What do you think? Number two is all about tall building. And then we have number three, an open space or events for events. And then for number four, not allowed. Cars and motorbikes are not allowed here. Then number five, we have under under some cities. And the number six we have is model of an important person. So what do you think are the words for one up to six? Now, are you familiar with the words here? Then just tell me if you're finished so that we can have the answers on. Okay, shall we? We have number one. Let me read. This is where ships are loaded and unloaded. Ships or like boats. All right, ready? Let's try number one. Let's have again. This is where ships are loaded and unloaded. One is okay, yes. Number one is a port. You can see this when your place is near the sea or the beach. So for number two, we have here this tall building may stand alone or be part of another building. Stand alone or be part of another building. Number two is tower. Yes, correct. Next, number three, let me read. Markets or events are often held in this open space, just like the Moscow. It's an open space. This is what we call Okay, do you know what's number 3? All right, for number 2, it's tower. Number 3 is a square. So square is an open space where you can have events or big events. Just like here in our picture for number 1, we have the Moscow red square, the square. It's an open space. The space itself is called the square. All right, let's try number 4. Cars and motorbikes are not allowed here. Are not allowed. So for number 4, it is yes. Okay, Tanyang, wait, number 4 first. All right, number 4, again, this is pedestrian. This one is all about pedi, which means uh, people who are just walking in that certain area. It is just for people who are walking. It's not for cars and motorbikes, so pedestrian area. And then for number 5, this electric train network runs under some cities. Yeah. Okay, so for number 5, under, let me have a picture of that one. Underground. Subway. Okay, for number 5, this one is underground. Please have a look on the picture here. In American term, they call this underground train, but in the other term, some in British, like they call this subway. This is the underground. Underground, like from the name itself, under, or the subway. And then for number 6, we have here, okay, for number 6, yes, a statue. That's correct. Thank you. This model of an important person is usually placed where everyone will see it, the statue. So if you're familiar with the Statue of Liberty in New York, that is an example of a statue, a very popular or famous statue. Okay, so again, number 1 is port, 2 tower, 3 square, 4 pedestrian, 5 underground, and then 6 is statue. Okay, so this time let's move on to our next activity, and then let's have the reading, which is on page 17. Okay, so in here, all right, you are going to answer number 4. Again, you're going to answer number 4, and then this one would be based on the paragraph on page 17. So the title is What to See in Montreal. So you're gonna answer this number 4 using the paragraph or the text here. So please do the reading, and then I will call you up after a minute, and then we'll answer yes or no. Activity 4, read the text here so that you can answer 1 up to 10. So please go over with this one. What is this? Ay, gosh. Which number now? Are you finished? I'm not ready. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I have put some highlights here. This one is for like 1 up to 10. Just some clues. How about the others? Are you finished yet?
Not yet.
Okay, yes. All right, take your time. Notice that I have highlighted, let me zoom. I have highlighted some words here. Some clues that you can go over for each number. Visitors can enjoy for entertainment. So for example, number one, the sentence is, visitors can enjoy free entertainment on the streets of the old city center. Is it a yes or a no? So for number one, you can see that I have highlighted, there are also lively squares with street artists, musicians, and performers. Old city center. So is it a yes or a no? Oh, you're finished? Wait first. Okay, I see. All right. Let's try the first one. Wait, how about the others? Shall we check? Okay, let's go over with the exercise, the fourth one. So this one entails about what to see in Montreal. So we have again, yes or no, whether the sentences in exercise number 4 could be yes or no. So again, number 1, visitors can enjoy free entertainment on the streets of the old city center. So yeah, the answer for this one is yes. Letter A. So number 1 is A. So if you'd look on the reading part, the text part, we have here the first one, Old City Center and Port. We have they are also there are also lively squares with street artists, musicians, and other performers. So that is an example of an entertainment. So number one is A. Let's try the second one. Okay, let's try number two. It is possible to visit the old port by car. Number two, it is possible to visit the old port by car. Okay, what's your number two? Vang An.
B.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, for number two, this one, if we're going to read the line here, major attractions include the city hall, the old customs house, and the old port. This one, the old port. Now, going over to this, most people come by underground owing to the limited amount of parking available. So we have here the word park. So for number two, this one is letter A. So it is possible. So for number two, it is possible to visit the old port by car. We have the clue, this line here, the last one, which is parking available. Now let's try number three. And let me ask King, please try number three.
B.
Okay. Number three is letter B. Yes. Me no. Okay, number three is B. This is Mount Royal Park is situated on the edge of the city. It is not on the edge. It is in the center. So now number three is letter B. Okay. Number four. Okay, let me ask Lei Quing. Number four.
I think A.
Yes. Okay, that's correct. Letter A. Four is letter A. This is all about, let's see, some of the trees in the park were planted in 1998. So yeah, many of the trees had to be replaced owing to storm damage in 1998. So four is letter A. Okay, number five. Number five we have is from Ngao Quinn. Please give me the answer. Okay, yes. Number five is letter B. Sporting events are held in the Olympic Stadium all year round. Let's see. Yes, this one is when this stadium was built for 1976 Olympic Games, its architecture was considered extraordinary. These days, the stadium is mainly used for concerts and conferences with occasional. Okay, so number five is letter B because of the word occasional. So this is not always. Five is letter B. Next, number six we have here is Ngao Tao. Now, Tao, if you have an answer for number six.
I think A.
Okay, yes. Visitors to the biodome will discover the natural history of four different areas. We can see this one here. Obviously, we can see this. Four different environments, including the rainforest, the Arctic. So this one is all about the biodome. So number six is letter A. Okay, thank you. Next, seven. Tangang, what's your number seven?
Number seven, I think A.
Okay, seven is letter A. Some people have homes in the underground city. Let's see. In the underground city, Montrealers have developed the world's largest underground pedestrian network. So yes, we have here 7A, correct. Number 8, Trang, if you have an answer, 8. Okay, that's correct. It's letter B. Let's see here. So number 8, lunchtime is a good time to look around the underground city. So this one is no, letter B. Uh, we have here the best time to visit in order to avoid the crowds is between 9 and 11, and then 2 and then 4 p.m. So that is letter B for number 8. Number 9, Chukwin, what's your answer for number 9?
Number 9, I think B.
Yes, that's correct. So number 9, this is all about you will find the illuminated crowd on the ground floor of the BNP Tower. Let's see here. So it is said on the ground, but this one it is said the illuminated crowd outside its entrance. So outside its entrance. So that's why number 9 is letter B. And then number 10, let me have this one. Festivals take place throughout the year in Montreal. Number 10 is letter A. Wait, 10 is A. We have the last one. Montreal has a festival for it. And with over 162 festivals on the calendar, there's a good chance there will be going on no matter when you choose to visit. This is all about the festival. So again, number 1A, 2A, 3B, 4A, 5B, 6A, 7A, 8B, 9B, and then 10 is letter A. Okay, let's go over now to our grammar. Oh my gosh, we have, I think, 33 minutes for this one. All right, so let's go over now to the grammar. Okay, so this time we're going to have some sentences all about passive and then active. So I'm gonna have also, or we're also going to have the rules in here. So we have 1, 2, and then 3. So passive and active voice, and then passive and active sentences. So all about this one. Now talking about these two given, please have a look on this presentation. Okay. So we've got here, okay, two of the grammar that we're going to talk about, active and passive voices. So when it comes to these two sentences or examples, they have this different way of putting words together in sentences. So look at the examples and complete the rules by choosing the correct word in the sentences below. So we're going to have that one later on. Now, first is we have the sentence all about the active sentence. So on your book, we have the people use the stadium for concerts. It is there. And then for passive sentence, it is said the stadium is used for concerts by the people. Now, what is this one? What is this active and what is this passive voices? Now, when it comes to active sentence, this one is the subject performs an action. So active sentence, what is the subject here? The subject here is the word people. This one is the subject. And then it performs an action. So what certain word that begets action? So we have here the word use. Again, the subject in the active sentence performs an action. So in this case, the sentence goes this way. The people, the subject, performs an action. Use the. Now, the stadium word here is the object. Again, the people, subject, use the action or the verb, and then the stadium here is the object. The focus for the word active is the people. This is the main point for active sentence. So the sentence is the people use the stadium for concerts. Now, in another way, passive sentence is different from the first one because for passive sentence, this is the subject receives the action. Again, active sentence, the subject performs, but for passive sentence, the subject receives the action. Example, the subject again. So the subject here is the word people. And then the action is this one. So in this case, for passive sentence, there is a change. In this case, the stadium becomes the first point of the sentence, and then the subject here receives the action. So what is the action again? Used for concerts. By whom? By the people, which means the people receives the action. So for this part, we're gonna have some of the rules when it comes to these kinds of example. So on your book, please underline the following. Okay, let me go back to the book again. Okay, let's have this one. So we have the rules for 1, 2, and 3. Please underline the following. Okay, we have number 1, we use passive when we do not know or it's not important to say who does the action. Please underline the word passive in your book. And then for number 2, to make passive sentences, we use be, the be verb, which is all about is, are, am. Be verbs. Okay, again, to make passive sentences, we use be verbs in the correct tense. So we have, it could be present tense or it could be past tense. So we could make use of am, is, or are, and, was, and then were. So please underline as well. And the past participle of the verb. Okay, let's take first the word past participle. We have present tense, eat, past tense, ate, and then past participle, eaten. Okay, this is different. Again, past participle is way different from the other tenses. So, for example, in some irregular verbs, present tense eat, past tense ate, but in past participle, eaten. Another one is when we have present tense like write, that one becomes wrote and then written. Another one is play. Play, present tense, past tense, played. In past participle, still played. So those are some of the examples. Okay, again, in underline number 2, be, and then past participle. For number 3, if we need to say who does the action, we use by. I hope you underlined already so that we can go over with the examples. Okay, let's go over to the presentation. Let's have it again. This one. Okay, so the first rule, it was said that we use passive sentences when we do not know or it's not important to say who does the action. For this term, excuse me, for this part, we're just going to focus on the passive sentence. So, again, first one, when we do passive sentences, it's okay, it's fine to say or not to say who does the action. So, example, the stadium is used for the concerts by the people. So this one, it is with the person or the subject. But for the second one, the stadium is used for concert. That is still correct. So either way, you could use the first one or the second one because it is important. Oh no, it's not really important when you try to have who does the action. So again, we could say the stadium is used for concerts with the people. It's fine. It's also okay to say the stadium is used for concerts. Then the end. That's a sentence already. So that is for passive sentence. Another thing, another rule is this one. Okay, let's take another example for number one. We could say the projects were given. Okay, we could say something like this. The projects were given by the students, or the projects were given. So it's, I mean, it also depends on the given sentence. So we could say the projects were given by the students or the projects were given, but it depends on the sentence as well. So that's the first rule. The second one is to make passive sentences, we use be verb in the correct tense and the past participle of the verb. Now, in here, again, the be verbs are, is, am, are, was, or were. So it would mainly depend also on the tense given. So we need to take note also of that one. Now, example is the stadium is used for concert. So for example, number two, active sentence is this one. The people the people use the stadium for concerts. Okay, for number two, I have put an example here in the box message. The people use the stadium for concert. Notice that I have used the word use, which is in the present. So in the passive sentence, it becomes the stadium is used for concerts. So in the passive, I am using is because the active sentence uses the word use, which is present. So in the passive tense, you have to use is for that one. And then another one is, okay, past participle of the main verb. Now, what is the verb being used? The word is use. So that's why we are using the word used here. So present tense is use, past tense used, past participle used. So the sentence goes this way: the stadium is used for concerts. Again, be verb is, past participle of the word is used. So we have here for number two. Number three, if we need to say who does the action, we use by. Just if we need, okay? Again, it depends somehow. So if we need to say who does the action, we can use the word by. So for example, the stadium is used for concerts by whom? By the people. But it is also fine not to say the person or the subject. The stadium is used for concerts, or the stadium is used for concerts by the people. So that is for the three rules of passive sentences when we try to make that one. Now, I will give another example. Okay, this one. Please have a look again. So, in this case, for the active sentence, the manager calls off the meeting. So this one is the verb, the action. The passive sentence goes this way, is called off. Now, this one is present tense, in the present tense. That's why in the passive sentence, I am using is. But we need to use, for the verb, we need to use the past participle. So if ever I am gonna say, or I'm gonna put here called off, this one should be replaced with was, okay? So the manager called off the meeting. So in the passive sentence, the meeting was called off by the manager. So that is for the verb. It would depend on the tense given with this sentence. So we have active sentence, the manager called off the meeting, while in the passive sentence, the meeting was called off by the manager. Now, for the active sentence as well, Haruki Murakami wrote Kafka on the Shore. Now, the verb here is past in the past tense. That's why in the passive sentence, I am using was written. So the past tense, no, the present tense of write is write, past tense is wrote, past participle is written. So this one is was because in the active sentence, this is past. So I am using past here. Okay, let's go back. Now, questions? Because I'm gonna give some examples again. Questions? Okay, this time we're going to focus again on the passive sentence. Please take note of the usage of the verbs here, whether it's present or past. This one is in the present, we're using is. The second one is in the past, we're using was. Okay, this is another example. So the government of the UAE built the Burj Al Arab in 1999. So we have here the subject is the government of the UAE. Then we have the verb which is built. And in the passive sentence, we have now the Burj Al Arab was built in Dubai by the government of the UAE. So we have here also the application of the word by. The Burj Al Arab was built in Dubai. Or the Burj Al Arab was built in Dubai by the government of the UAE in 1999. That is for the passive. Now I would like to have an example for you like this one. And then we're going to try it with your own idea. So we have number one. I think this one will be up to number 9. Okay. So I think I'm gonna call someone from you here and then try to give me the passive form. Okay, again, passive sentence. We're gonna focus on the passive sentence. So we have number 1. The active sentence is my sister answered my homework last night. This is in the past. Who could give me the passive sentence for this? My sister answered my homework last night. Can you please give me the passive form? Yes, Ngapwin. Yes, okay. My homework was answered by my sister last night. Okay, that's correct. Thank you so much, Melquin. So we have here um, was answered. It is because our past, no, our verb here in the active sentence is in the past. And then we're using, okay, yes, so we're using by also here. So my homework was answered by whom? By my sister last night. Thank you. Next, let's try number 2. The composer composed songs. Please try this one out. I will call. Okay. Chuk Nguyen, please try number 2.
Song was composed by the composer.
Yes. Okay, wait. Songs. It's supposed to be were, okay? Songs were composed by the composer. Okay, thank you for that one, Chuk Nguyen, by the composer. So again, for the passive, it would also depend on the thing here for the object. So for the object, it could be singular or plural. So for the songs, it could be were. Song was. Okay, thank you. Number 3, let's try um, Tangang. Try number 3.
The musician is like their instrument.
Okay. All right. So, okay, have a look on this one, Tangang. For the active, this one, the musicians play the instruments. Okay. So we have here the subject, and then we have the verb. Instruments, examples of objects. When it comes to passive, this one becomes the object, the instruments. Okay, we're having instruments, many, more than one. So we are going to use are. The instruments are played by the musicians. Okay, so we need to take note. When it comes to passive, the object becomes the main point. So this one becomes the first one, the instruments. And now we are using the word are. It's because um, we are using instruments, many. It's are since it's in the present tense. Are played, it becomes in the past participle form. By whom? By the musicians. So I hope it's not confusing. So the instruments are played by the musicians. Okay. Um, let's try number 4. Ngaup Tau. Number 4. Please try this one.
Smartphones are used by the students.
Okay, yes, correct. Smartphones are used by the students. All right. So this one, the smartphones, we have here the main point already for passive. And then we're using are used. We're using are. It's because smartphones, it comes with many. And then it's are because it's in the present tense. Used by whom? By the students. Let's try this time number 5. This one is easy. Number 5 is, okay, Lei Quing painted.
The house was painted by Anna.
Okay, you forgot this one. Painted. The house was painted by Anna. All right, so don't forget the past participle of the main verb. So the tense here is in the past. It's because we're using past tense painted, and then was past tense also. Past participle, painted by Anna. All right, let's try number 6. Hing, please try number 6.
The video was posted by Ali.
Okay, the video was posted by Ali. So the tense here is in the past. The word is posted. That's why we are using was in the passive sentence. So we have video was posted by whom? By Ali. Okay, number 7, Vang An rather.
The,
Checks.
the project is checked the teacher by the teacher.
Okay, the project is checked by the teacher. All right, so we have the passive form now. This one is in the present tense, the word checks. That's why we're using is in the in the passive as well. Also, the project is just one. That's why we're using singular is. Okay, let's try this one. Tangang, can you try number 9 again? Wait, okay. Try number 9.
Uh, the lovely song are sing I heard.
Okay, yes. Okay, just one mistake for the word sings. So when it comes to past participle of sing, this is sung. Okay, so this one past participle is are sung by her. So it has a different change because it's a regular verb. So you've got the point. It's just this one, okay? So the lovely songs are sung by her. So we have here the word sings. It becomes sung when it comes to past participle. And then we're using are. It is because it's in the past, no, present tense. And then it's plural. So lovely songs are sung by her. Okay, so we'll make use of the remaining time by answering our next exercise. So that one would be on number 6. So please go over to activity number 6, everyone, and then complete the sentences about Montreal. Use the active or passive in the correct tense. So this one would be based on the Montreal text. So activity 6, let's try this one. We have one of the 6. For number 1, we have here a year in 1852. So this one is in the past. And then for number 2, we've got old buildings. And then we also have the year in the past. For number 3, old Montreal. So this one is the subject. I mean the object rather for number three. And then number three has got a year in the past as well. And then for number four, we have the word ice storm. That is the subject. Number five, okay, famous films, the object. Number six, we have, okay, this one is in the present tense. Which number are you now? Finished? Shrunk. Okay. In 1852, much of the city were destroyed by a large fire. Okay, number Trang, just for number one mistake. City. So it should be was, okay? Was destroyed by a large fire. Okay, in 1852, much of the city was destroyed by a large fire. Yeah, that's not correct. Thank you for this. Yeah, thank you for the answer. All right, try number two. In the 1960s and 70s, many old buildings blank repair. We have the year in the past and also the object old buildings. Many. Okay, shall I call as someone? Vang An, try number two.
In the 1960 and 70, many old buildings were repaired.
Yes, okay. So we have number two, were repaired. Yeah, okay, thank you. Next, number three, please try Truk Nguyen.
Almond rolls was declared a historic district in 1964.
Correct. Okay. Was declared. Was declared. Okay. Number four. Let's try. Um, no, Tao, please try number four. Four.
In 1998, an ice cream and ice storm caused $1 billion worth of damage to the city.
Yeah, that's correct. Cost. It's with letter D. And also, when you say this $1 billion, $1 billion. So thank you for that one, Ngọc Tao. It is cost. Okay, cost. All right. Next, number five, Tangang films.
Number 5. Many famous films were made in Montreal.
Montreal. Okay. So for number five, this one is were made. Okay, the past participle for the word make is made. So were made in Montreal. All right, thank you. Number six, last one. Let's have Lei Quing.
Uh, 56% of Montrealers speak French their first language.
Okay, so for number six, this one is just the word speak. So we have here 66% of Montrealers speak French as their first language. The subject here is the word Montrealers. Okay, so that's why we're still gonna use the word speak. So again, wait first. Last one. This one. Again, we have number one was destroyed. Number two, we have were repaired. Number three was declared. And the number four, caused. This one, the subject is ice storm. For number five, object films were made. And the number six, we have the subject, which is Montrealers. That's where we're using speak as the verb. All right, we're past the time. Okay, so we're just going to end up to that activity. So again, what we had tonight was all about passive and active voices, as well as we talked about some places in the city, in some certain cities. Okay, so we're gonna continue, or you're gonna continue this one next time with your teacher. And thank you very much for joining our class for tonight, and see you next time. So have a good night to all of you. Thank you.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye.